Welcome to another edition of Bleav in Lions presented by FanDuel. I am Trevor Thompson alongside the star of the show, Glover Quin, and it's a big week. First week of the regular season getting set to kick off. Off the Lions go to Green Bay to face the new look Packers. We'll talk about the addition that they've made. And to set up the show, let me send it to my partner because we got a very special guest that he knows very well. Glover, what do we got going on today?
Man, we got a special guest indeed today, man. I got my guy, Kelvin Sheppard, man, defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. I had the pleasure of playing with him in 2018. Got to know him really well in a tough year, man. So congratulations to him on being the new appointed defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, man, and glad to have you here with us on the show. He answered my call and he jumped on, man of his word, man. So appreciate you, Kevin, for jumping on the pod, man.
I appreciate y'all having me. Like I said, anytime my dog GQ call, I'm going to come running, man. Just back in 2018, he was one of the first people to greet me when I came in as a vet. And he was pretty much like, look, dog, this how this work. Boom, boom, boom. This how this work. This what we doing over here. And I was good to go. So anytime he called me, I'm answering the phone, man.
And man, I appreciate that, man. And, you know, for me, getting that time and now seeing you get that job as a D coordinator, man, I was so happy for you, man. I really was. I want to know for you, like, what was that transition like for you going from being a player, you know, just 7 years ago, 2018, to now being a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, at times it's surreal, if I'm being honest with you. And I'm very open with the room. I'm open with the players. Shit, some of the players was on the team, GQ, that me and you was on that you're talking about. So the other day, actually, in the defensive unit meeting, it was around cut time. I was just talking to the guys, letting them know whether you were going to get it out another opportunity in this league, on another team, whether that's transition to the UFL or never putting the pass on again. Don't look at it as a failure, because I sat in those same seats. I knew the feeling they was going through. And in that moment, I kind of caught myself looking around, GQ, because it's the same defensive unit meeting that we had. And, you know, I shared with the guys, it hit me on the spot. And I told them, guys, I used to sit right there. So this isn't me standing up here giving you some cliche talk. Right. 7 years ago, 6.5 years ago, I sat in that same seat and didn't know what my future held. You know what I mean? I think when you open that window and open the floor up like that, and the guys feel there's real substance to it, it can kind of hit a little different. I know for me as a player, it hit me a little different when somebody like you spoke, GQ, over the coach. And nothing against the coaches, it's just different. Right. When guys just done it, you know, kind of speak.
And I mean, do you feel like, you know, having that background as a player, I would say newly retired, you still under 10 years. Do you feel like the players, you know, take to you more, and it's more like I want to say like a brotherhood coach, or is it like the old school, like daddy son coach?
No, it's definitely more the brotherhood, kind of the big brother, kind of the vet on the team. I at times feel like a lot of the guys say it. They go like Meek make jokes all the time. Meek Robinson, like, man, I can't tell if he my teammate or my coach sometimes. but that's when you got him. Like I tell all the coaches, man, people get too caught up in the hierarchy, especially in our profession. You start to get these titles, you start to get these roles, and some people start to feel themselves and forget where they came from. Something I wanted to make sure I always did is not forget where I came from. And being that third round pick, a guy slated to go start, and then running into some adversity in my career, traded, cut, and then having to go get it out the mud again, and anything that meant special teams, starting 1 week, back to special teams. So I feel like I'm able to touch every guy on the roster, GQ, to be honest with you, Bev, like, and be able to relate to them at a point. Not saying you had to play the game, but I think I always tell people now, man, the good Lord is so good, because my playing career really set me up for my true purpose in life, and that's to help others. And that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I'm helping people. I'm helping uplift their families. I'm helping uplift their self-confidence. I'm helping every day, being able to touch just one person, and hopefully I touch more than that. But that's my goal every day I go in that room. And then I do take a lot of my playing career. I tell people, they say, you're so smart. I say, no, I'm not. I take everything I liked as a player and I apply it. And everything I didn't like, I throw it out. And I remind myself, like Sean McVay said an unbelievable quote this offseason. He was doing a podcast and he said, I ask my coaches all the time, would you want to be coached by you? And that hit me. Like it really did. Because a lot of times coaches get on this level and they forget, man, like what that is like, the pressure these guys are under, the scrutiny every day to go out. The job's already hard enough.
Right.
Now it's our job to alleviate some of that stress from the players and not add it with the uncertainty, not knowing where they stand, what my role is. What there's not a guy that sit in that room that you can get on here right now, GQ, that doesn't know their exact role. Where do they stand with me? Where do they stand with their position coach? What do you bring to the table? And then furthermore, what do you need to do to get to where you may see yourself in this system? So yeah, man, it's it's kind of hit the ground running from retiring in 2019 with UGQ, man, to 2020. All these coaches pushing me to go coach, and I'm like, I'm not doing it. And between Dan Campbell and Steve Spagnolia, they're like, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it right now. And I'm like, well, let me try that my alma mater, LSU. And I fell in love instantly, man. It's the ability to help others, man. And people say it all the time, what am I without football? But forget football. Like, who are you in life and why were you born? Like, that's a search that we all are out to find. And thankfully, by the good grace of God in this game of football, I was able to find mine. And it's truly to help. Like, and not just players, I want to help the coaches on my staff. The position coaches should be in a position, if they get a D coordinator interview, it's my responsibility to make sure they're ready for that. The assistants, if they get position coach opportunities, it's my responsibility to make sure they're ready for that. And so on and so forth, man. Like I'm just a given person, is who I am, is who my parents raised me to be. And now I'm just on this stage where people get to see it on a bigger scale.
Kelvin, I got a couple of questions for you. I'm going to start off with this one. You mentioned some of the position coaches already, and I know that you guys lost 8 coaches during the offseason, not just Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, but a couple of other coaches followed them out the door as well, and a couple of guys on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm wondering how you're carrying that continuity forward, carrying that message forward, and what's different for you without having some of that support there to help you in this transitional period.
Oh, well, I'll start with the front. I mean, it's been unreal. That's why I say timing, alignment, all that stuff, it matters. It matters throughout every perspective, company you work for, life. Yeah. And in my playing career, GQ will tell you it's timing, it's opportunity, it's fit, it's everything has to hit right in this profession. And man, I was so fortunate that Casey Rogers was available. And we were able to beat out about 5 other teams because essentially every D-line job that was open, he was number 1 to get. I'll tell you that, and I know that for a fact. He was number 1 on everyone's list as their D-line coach. And just the mere fact of how your worlds collide, how you carry yourself. He was the D-line coach when I played in Miami, when Dan was down there. So just that crossover and him watching me from afar, hearing things from people he called, he, I would say, entrusted me with this next however many years of his career, illustrious career, might I add. And this is no knock against anybody. I've had Ty Wash taught me a lot, John Scott, Terrell Williams, absolute stud. That's the D coordinator in New England. We got the best guy we've had here in the building. And I humbly say that. It's no knock against anyone else. Everybody got their flavor and the way they do it. This guy's on another level. I mean, he was coaching in the NFL when I was in the incubator. So, I mean, like I pulled knowledge from him. He's been a coordinator. He's been a D-line coach for a long time. So a lot of the stuff in the front, we've tweaked and changed to where I meet him in the middle. He tells me a lot of things that Todd Bowles used to do, the way he thought, the way he game plan. So you'll see some of that show up. And then I moved to the second level. Sean Dion Hamilton, absolute stud. I'm telling y'all right now, he's gonna be, in this profession, they like to say the next hot guy. That he's gonna be the next hot guy. A mirror image of myself. He has his own way of doing things, but unbelievable that I was able to have him around me the last 3 years. So it's carry over naturally with the linebacker group. And then you go to the back end where I feel the most strength. And just to be quite frank, where I felt like I lacked the most knowledge as far as technique, understanding of how teams attack you vertically, past that intermediate window of what I've mastered at the linebacker spot with Jim O'Neal and Deshae Townsend, man, former coordinator. Deshae played 12, 13 years. He's been coaching 15. I mean, when you talk about the knowledge and the comfort I have, and it trickles all the way down to their assistants in the front. Caleb Collins, I worked with at LSU and was at Baylor the last 4 years, OLB coach. August Mangin was my roommate at LSU for 2 training camps. He's working with Hambone. And then Dre Thompson, the master of everything, is what I say. He's everything from my QC to now he's working with the nickel and coaching the nickel spot. And just the comfortability that I have with these guys in their rooms, it allows me to sit in my office and do my job, which is the defensive coordinator. I keep telling myself, you're no longer the linebacker coach, Shep. Leave
Right.
Ham alone,
Right.
because that's something I was afforded with AG. Leave your position coaches alone and let them coach. And they allow me to do that. So, man, just going down this journey, I wouldn't rather do it with another group. And I got 8 guys that I look to my left and right, not behind me because I'm not in front of nobody. They're to my left and right, and we're in lockstep and we're ready to do this, man.
That's what's up, man. And I got a question.
Yep.
Training camp just ended. Obviously, we go through the tough time of cut day, and guys make the roster and some guys don't, and it's in the. But coming out of training camp, who is somebody that surprised you? We always have that one person that maybe take a step, an undrafted guy that maybe take a step, a younger player that maybe take a step, and you're like, I think this guy could be primed for a decent year if he can just stay the course. They had a great training camp. Who somebody that surprised you this year?
Y'all let me know when y'all live lunching this so I could cuss him out the same day because he cannot know how good he is. But man, if I had to say, because I was gonna go Hutch because it's unbelievable the way he looks after injury. But I think we all know the caliber player Hutch was,
Right.
and what he's gonna be. I would say Terrion Arnold, man. Like if you ask me one player, young player, up and comer, kind of not a surprise because we took him in the first round. That comes with expectations, but that doesn't mean they're a ready-made player.
Right.
The job that Deshae has done with that player, he's looking like a CB1 that could go
Really?
follow people and do it on a consistent basis. And he's now because he gonna talk now if he hear this. Shep say I'm CB1. I think it's a mix of the development and growth that Deshae's worked with him on, but also the addition of DJ Reed. I think has added a level of maturity to that room, but
Right.
also a level of detail that I'm not gonna say has been missing. It's just the standard is set now. DJ sets the standard for the way our corners operate, and if you fall short, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. So I think TA has grabbed that baton and he's following. He's following DJ, but he's doing it in his own way too. They're 2
Right.
different players.
Right.
But TA, man, I've been thoroughly impressed with him, not only in training camp, but also the things he was doing in the spring.
That's what's up. Hey, so tell me this right here. How does it feel? Like you played tons of games. You've coached a lot of games, but you're going into your first game week as the D coordinator. Like, how does that feel? Is the preparation different? Are you going over like plays that you want to call in certain situations? Have you not got there yet because you got a game plan? Like, what's the mental preparation like for you this week, man?
I'm going to tell you, before the Hall of Fame game, Hutch walked up to me in St. Brown. They walked up to me on the field and they go, Shep, do you get nervous before the games? And I was like, I wouldn't call it nervous because nervous is somebody that's not prepared.
Right.
That's what somebody that's nervous, they're not prepared.
Right.
I say it's anxious. It's that butterfly feeling that all of us as competitors have when you just ready to get that first hit out the way. And in the preseason, if I'm being totally honest, which I'm always am, I'm gonna keep it real and straight. Everybody know that, G. I didn't have it. It didn't, like you said, it didn't hit the way those. I woke up this morning, that thing thriving, G. Hey, man. Hey, look, I'm ready to go call this thing tonight. Like, so now the biggest kind of stressor is these next 6 days. Not getting ahead of myself, trusting the process, understanding it's a process that come before the final result, and just staying the course and also not trying to see too much. That's something that Spags is a guy that I've been leaning on. Spags probably called me every other week, just checking on me because it's like he feels like if I'm successful, he's successful. The same thing with Dan, man. I've been very afforded the opportunity to be around selfless people that just want to see me win. Like before the Hall of Fame game, AG sent me a text, call that MFer.
That's AG
And
for you.
just so many people want to see me win, man. So like I feel like I owe it to them to make sure I'm prepared to the fullest and to make sure not only them, I owe it to those guys that's going out there, those 23, 24 guys that's going to be up on defense on game day, that's willing to put it on the line and that's bought into everything I've asked. I owe it to them to make sure there's no stone unturned. We're not seeing too much where we're not seeing nothing, but we
Right.
are kind of seeing those details. And if they're tails on tape, we're going to take them. And G, we're going to play fast this year, man. That's what the guys know is I don't want any hesitation. If there's hesitation, it's out the plan. Like, I'd rather go to a game with 5 calls where my guys are humming than 50 where I got this call sheet like I'm a guru and I'm reinventing the wheel, but
Right.
my guys out there playing fast.
Right.
I mean, they're out there playing slow. So, man, my big thing, compartmentalizing, trusting my process that I've set in place, that I said I was going to do, not because I got more time doing too much, and just letting the chips fall where they may. Like Dan said, once you go to the game, you got a plan, and you go down with that plan. Don't deviate from what you set, that your principles and core things, that's what's going to show up on our tape. And then each week we'll tweak things here and there, but we're going to have a core foundation where we're going to play fast, we're going to play aggressive, and we're going to play a violent physicality style of football on the defensive side of the ball.
It's funny. You answered all the questions that I had for you.
I got you, dog. I got you covered, G.
Hey, because I was literally going to ask, what can we expect from your defense? I was literally going to ask, is there a coach or somebody that you're going to kind of lean on throughout the week to kind of, just talk, calm yourself? And you answered all that, Spagnola, and you got a great guys around you.
And you will know this name, G. I say probably the coach that I cuss out the most on staff, but it's out of love and it's because he's going to be the one to challenge me all the time and make sure, like, if it's something he think wrong, he's saying it. It's Dave Correa. That's my senior defense assistant. Look at G laughing because if Dave's been around the building, I think just as long as Sheila and everybody. And Dave's gonna challenge you, but it's because he's seen ball. I mean, Dave was assistant linebacker coach in Miami and the Lions when I played at both. It's somebody I trust and it's somebody I want in that specific role to do that job. It's his job to go against the grain and to kind of be that voice in the room to say, well, what if they do this? Will we still like it? And on game day, he's the guy, my point of contact, personnel, situations, like, but he's also the guy I let have it a little bit when I'm, not feeling him going against the grain.
No doubt, man. Well, man, I definitely appreciate your time, man. I know I asked you for 15 to 20 minutes, man. I don't want to keep you long, man. I know you got a lot to do, man. I just appreciate you joining us. I told you when you got the job, I'm in your corner, man. Anything you need from me, just let me know. I'm there for you, bro. Good luck this week.
Absolutely.
And man, y'all go beat the Packers, man.
It's time, G. It's time, man. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this thing simmered, and then we're gonna turn that pot up on Sunday, but we're gonna let it simmer into Sunday. But anytime y'all need me, seriously, bye week, we can check back in or whatever, man. I'm here for y'all. I appreciate it. I love to see what you doing, what y'all doing, man. And anytime I could be a helping hand, always holler at me, bro.
I will do, man. We'll mark that on the books, man. Look back for you over the bye.
All right, cool. I appreciate y'all having me today, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
Glover, that was absolutely fantastic. That guy is infectious. What stood out about what he had to say to you?
Man, you know what? I really appreciated the fact that he talked about the coaches that are in his corner. And I think sometimes, when you're a good person, you got a good heart, these guys around you want to see you succeed. And so for him to have respected coaches that's checking in on him, they know what it's like to be a first-time coordinator and the pressures. And it's not like he's a first-time coordinator for, I don't want to say a bad team, but like he's not like he's on a bottom tier team. I mean, he's on the premier team in the NFC North for sure. and one of the premier teams in the entire NFL, right? So this is a huge job. He's on a big stage, and so these other coaches understand that, and for them to be reaching out to just help him, I really like that. That says a lot about him. But also, we talked about, you know, his relatability with the players and him being newly retired. I called him newly retired because he's only been 7 years out the game, just like me, right? So you're newly retired, so you still understand. You can relate to these young players. And, you know, he was excited about Terrion coming out of the training camp. And I think that's huge because a lot of times when you look at younger players, wide receivers or offensive guys typically have a great rookie year and then they have a sophomore slump. And I think sometimes DBs and defensive guys, especially DBs, we struggle a little bit because you got to gain the confidence. You got to get, you know, the ruling, the touching. He had a lot of PI calls early in the season, which were questionable, but sometimes that's what happened as a rookie. But then you go back and grind that off season because you know the level that you have to be at to play against the top guys week in and week out. And so sometimes as a defensive back, we make a huge jump going from year 1 to year 2. And to hear that from about Terrion coming out, got to be exciting for Lions fans, got to be exciting for the people that are rooting for him. And so I just thought it was great for him to come through, man, and show his personality. What he's bringing to that, man, what he's bringing to that Lions defense, man. I'm so excited to see these guys. He talked about how they were going to be physical, playing violent, tenacious defense, and you know, I'm excited for him, man. Like I told him, I'm in your corner, man. I want to see you succeed, man. He's the second guy that I play with that I can think of. I played with D'Amico Ryans, who's not a head coach in the Houston Texans, but he was the defensive coordinator with the 49ers, and Kelvin Sheppard. I played with him in Detroit in 2018. Now he's a defensive coordinator, and you know, Lord willing, he has some success. And over the next couple of years, we'll be talking about head coach.
Yeah, you know why I think he's going to be successful? Obviously, he knows the game inside and out. He's been a player, but just the relatability you talk about and his relationship building. He cares about other people. I think that's how you get the most out of guys that are under you, guys you're trying to coach, guys that get to, as they say, run through a wall for you. He's got that kind of infectious nature about him and caring about others and putting others before himself. I think that's really going to be, in the end, what helps him be as successful as he can be because he's going to have guys pulling along the same rope as he is.
Oh yeah, I definitely believe that. And so, you know, time will only tell. You got to go out and you got to play well. And I'm sure he's going to take some bumps and bruises. You know, we're going to have some times and moments where we wonder what's going on. But I think in anything, if you trust the person that's leading the ship, you got to ride with them in the good and the bad. And so scrap up and let's go on for the ride. Got 17 weeks.
Glover Quin's boy, Kelvin Sheppard, new defensive coordinator for the Lions, who will take on the Packers in week 1. And we'll be here to break it down for you on Bleav in Lions, presented by FanDuel. Can't wait.